take the food out the air fryer?
No, that's okay because I
All right,
wasn't.
you're live. Hold on. And go ahead, start.
You can start.
Let me say first.
He said you can start.
Oh.
Good afternoon, my villagers, and blessing. Good afternoon. How are you all out there today? I won't even kind of describe how I am. I just, really it's just been a hectic day, but nevertheless, it's a beautiful day. The sun is shining and all, and I tell you, God, it's good all the time. We are excited to be here this afternoon. See where I am? We are excited to be here this afternoon, and I just want to thank my crew. I want to thank my team, Sheila, my producer. I want to thank Juanita, my advisor, and of course my engineer, King Norm. And I certainly want to thank my promo crew, Alwa, Halim, Elijah, Chloe, and Chastity, for helping me out. Appreciate it so much. This is a good afternoon. I say that with reservation. There's a school of thought that says we believe that you got to be always positive. I disagree with that, because if you don't admit that dreadful things are happening, some, innocently enough, will assume that everything is okay. I find that to be delusional. So I'm going to say and admit that we are in some tough times. But I can also say that because I am from the silent generation, we have had tougher times. And I'm confident that if we got through those times, then surely we will get through these times. Because the same God and our ancestors that moved us through those times will, without a doubt, move us through these times. Because, see, we are preparing. The title of my podcast, Unapologetic Amateur Looking for Experts in Amateurism in Africanism, makes it clear that we need someone or someones who have in-depth knowledge of us and our situation. But I believe that God sometimes touch a little sort of nobody like me and infuse in my psyche the message needed to move others to complete the task. We have a great show today. Many of us have reached out and reached the conclusion that our kids, our young people, our youth going to be the deliverers for our nation, the African nation. For that to happen, there has got to be some serious deprogramming and then reprogramming. Not only have our plans been hijacked, but have prevented many of us from seeing ourselves beyond our circumstances. And we shouldn't really, as you think about it, be expected to do so. Why or how should any one of us who has never or has been drained of our senses would have a clue on how to solve it? Now, I like to make analogies. I use this pandemic that came upon us in 2020. It sort of broadsided us. It didn't sort of, it broadsided everyone. Left unimaginable damage to the extent that we knew right away it would take special people with special skill set. In this case, the epidemiologists, the virologists, not just anyone on the street. You could have 3 degrees from the most prestigious universities in the country or the world, for that matter. And if the studies had nothing to do with the subject matter, you were just whistling Dixie. That's why I coined the phrase African slave virus 401 to define what we went through, to place our situation in context. So when I labeled my podcast Unofficial Unapologetic Amateur, looking for experts in Africanism, it was done to bring attention to the specificity of our situation, stolen from our homeland, enslaved in the Americas, treated worse than animals, and the real diabolical finish was to strip us of everything dear to us, our culture, our language, our religion, everything, which puts us in a category different from any other human being. We had been abused in every way. So it really shouldn't take a rocket scientist, or maybe it should, to understand that no, we just need those specialists, specializing in what I call Africanism. That's why we are preparing our young people to recapture the knowledge that was stripped from us. To that end, I have included a new segment to the podcast. I will be bringing in the youngsters from our home school, Williams ACAP. That means Williams Aquivalon Cultural Academy of Plainfield. The last Monday of each month so they can begin the knowledge that was stripped from our ancestors. We are very deliberate and intentional about regaining what was stripped from us. We are deliberate about clearing up the cobwebs that have stymied our growth. Now, these young people have just come back from a trip to Washington, D.C. to visit the National Museum of African American History under the tutelage of Rosie's Studio Scholarship Foundation. That's a music group my sister runs, and we are very serious about our young people not being deprived because some crazy man think we shouldn't know our history. And you know who that crazy man is, right? Your president. See, we are attempting to make sure our children are well-rounded, while others are trying to take our history right out from under us. We are determined that will never happen, because it is urgent that we know that something did happen to us. The reason it is urgent that we get to know what happened to us and the mental toll it took, so the question you have about yourself might be answered. And the question that some of us have is, well, other groups have been through situations and they came through and are doing well. Why can't we? Now, I know you asked that question because I heard you ask it sometime. I feel you asking it, and it's okay. I'm not a psychologist, but even to my ears, that question makes sense. But the answer to that question will only make sense if we see the totality of our experience compared to others. Yeah, there have been groups who have been abused, but none to the degree that we have. What sets our experience apart is the fact that we were stripped of our culture, our language, our religion, everything. And when one has been stripped, something happens to the brain. And once we know that there was an additional trauma to the brain, I believe it's going to bring clarity to that part of the brain that this stripping had affected. Let me qualify that a little bit now. That little bit of info I gave you just now came from Ruby's assumption. But it sounds right, see? But as with the pandemic, I'm playing the trump card when he suggested injecting bleach. But see, at least mine did sound logical, right? Now I'm working real hard to bring information to all of us that will help qualify what we need to hear. And I believe that for us, the Black community as a whole, need to hear a constant assessment of how others see our situation. To that end, I will share excerpts of what I feel are pertinent information that will help clarify where I'm trying to go with this podcast. See, we have been bamboozled, as Brother Malcolm would say, with words. We say one thing and society translates it into the narrative it wants to project. And who controls the narrative? Yeah, right. So we've got to be conscious of words that we hear. Remember the word integration? That was not what Dr. Martin Luther King and those said. They said desegregation, which is a little different than integration. Well, another word I want you to pay attention to and to chew on, the word monolithic. Write it down now, please, because sometimes you hear us as Black people declaring we're not monolithic. Webster or Google, I went into, define is a monolithic as large, powerful, and uniformed. Let's just go a European culture for right now. So not to be monolithic means that they don't think alike. That's why you may see Republicans, Democrats, and independents amongst that group, even though they have systems that have over time shaped their opinions and dictates the route they want to go. They have what one would call consensus because they get together at least yearly to solidify their intent. See, the Europeans now, they have the John Birch Society, the LaRoche Party, the Proud Boys, the MAGA Group, and the Jewish community has the AGC, the ADL, the JDC, and others. And other groups have their exclusive go-to. But what do we have? We need to be a little bit more monolithic. Otherwise, we're thinking in 1,000 different directions. We have been the most damaged, yet we do not have a mainstream group where we go make decisions to benefit us. Oh, we have organizations now. We have the NAACP, we have the Urban League, but they are run by and with other people. Really, the only group amongst us at this time that shows a more monolithic way of thinking is the Nation of Islam. See, they are organized in such a unit where their decisions on major issues have already been solidified. So my podcast is all about trying to enlighten us from the fog that we have been put in. That's why I'm creating a segment called Enlightenment, bringing you information from other sources. Today, I have 3 such sources. Sit back and listen at them. You will learn and you will enjoy. So right now, we're going to have the excerpts. Norm, okay. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Please.
Every black child needs to see this clip from Malcolm X to counter the impact of internalized racism.
Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other. No, before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate? You should ask yourself, who taught you to hate being what God gave you?
So one day my 9-year-old came home from school and she told me that her darker skinned friend was being bullied by a black boy who had lighter skin. She told me he was making jokes about her skin tone, and she said that she interjected and told him to be quiet, and she talked about how all shades of black is beautiful. So of course I immediately told her and my 7-year-old to sit down, and I showed them that clip right there. They liked the clip so much they kept watching it over and over again, and they started saying it themselves with the same mannerisms Malcolm had. So from there we started talking about anti-black propaganda, media narratives, inclusion, diversity, and we also talked about colorism. So the next day my daughter went back to school and told me that she told that boy that exact same quote from Malcolm, and she educated him on colorism. And she said he had no idea what it was. So it's crazy, right? He had no idea what it was, but he exuded it perfectly. See, if y'all keep thinking your kids aren't ready for conversations about racism, you're going to be losing to the anti-blackness and racist propaganda that they're downloading in their subconscious. So who taught that 9-year-old boy to hate himself and his African features? It's probably the same people that's teaching some of these 9-year-old white kids to hate us.
This is the Unwritten Truths, Mansa Musa, the richest man. They hope you never study. They tell you about Jeff Bezos. They worship Elon Musk, but they don't tell you about him. A black Muslim king who made their fortunes look like pocket change. His name? Mansa Musa, Emperor of Mali, the man who broke economies just by showing up. In 1324, he set off on a pilgrimage to Mecca. But this wasn't just a spiritual journey. It was a global flex.
Tens of thousands followed him: soldiers, slaves, scholars, traders. He brought 80 camels, each carrying over 300 pounds of pure gold. They say he gave out so much gold in Cairo, he caused inflation that lasted a decade. But Mansa Musa didn't just throw gold around. He built empires of knowledge, mosques, universities, and libraries, including the legendary Timbuktu, a black man from West Africa, educating the world before Europe even knew how to bathe. But ask yourself, why don't they teach his name in school? Why isn't his face on your history books?
Because his story destroys their narrative. That power, wealth, and intellect didn't begin in the West. Mansa Musa proved something they tried to erase. That black leadership shaped civilization. That Africa was not just colonized, it was once the world's crown. And that maybe the richest man in history looked just like you.
Follow us at Black Knowledge Network, because these stories were never lost, just buried.
This is the unwritten truth.
Education of a people. This was never just about school, it was about shaping minds to serve systems. From the very beginning, they built an education system that would keep us obedient, not liberated. They erased our libraries, burned our prophets, wrote themselves into the center of the story, and cast us as shadows. They didn't just hide the truth, they engineered ignorance on purpose. Because if we ever knew what we came from, we'd never settle for what they gave us. They taught us to worship what enslaved us. They rewrote our gods, repainted our saints, and told us our own ancestors were savages. They stripped our names, stole our languages, and replaced our spirituality with rituals designed to keep us on our knees, begging for mercy from the same system that broke us. They never wanted thinkers. They wanted workers. They wanted silence. They wanted us to forget. Because a people who remember become dangerous. Why don't they teach us about Mansa Musa? Why is Egypt taught as European? Why are the Moors missing from the textbooks? Because once we start connecting the dots, we stop asking for a seat at the table and start building our own. This ain't education, it's programming, it's propaganda, and it's still happening. They underfund our schools, fill our curriculums with lies, push us through systems designed to fail us, then blame us for the outcome. But we're waking up, and when we reclaim our story, we reclaim our power. This is Unwritten Truths. Follow at Official Black Knowledge. Our app is dropping soon, and this time, we write the curriculum. The miseducation.
Okay. Was that the three?
Yeah.
Oh, I was so enjoying it all over again that I missed it. I see. I hope that you all understand exactly the efforts that I put into trying to create a podcast that will share knowledge. I think I told you someone suggested once, said, well, maybe you should have format of debate. I said, no, I don't need to debate. I just need to bring knowledge. I need to bring true knowledge that cannot be disputed, that cannot be debated, just some that's set there. Then when our experts in Africanism come in, they themselves can get together and figure out how to get this knowledge to us, the average person. We are not expected to know all this. So when I hear us pointing our fingers at each other and say, we're not doing this because of that, we're lazy, or sometimes even we do that, and it's understandable. As I said to you before, if your brain have been tampered with as ours has been, and that means the stripping, we've gone through things similar to what other groups have gone through when they were enslaved or whatever, but they were never stripped. Our Jewish friends, when they were going through the Holocaust, that was evil, that was just serious, but when they were allowed to let go of them, they were intact to continue to do what they needed to do. And so they continued their efforts in whatever they was put on this earth to do. Ours was, stymied because we had been stripped of the knowledge of who we were. Because just think about that now. You think yourself. If we knew what we were prior to them snatching us out of our homeland, we wouldn't be in this condition. Because I'm quote Maya Angelou, if you knew better, you'd do better. So we knew better, we would do better. Obviously, it means that maybe we just have been stripped of the knowledge of who we are. But we're getting there. Yeah, we are getting there. But so right now, I hope my crew is ready. I have the youngsters coming on from the school.
They're not there yet.
They're not yet? They're not ready yet? Oh, okay. In that case, we just got to go on and talk about what we need to talk about, and that is to explain what is happening. We have brought this episode, another episode to our show, which consists of the students from the homeschool called Williams ACAP. And that ACAP, the acronym is Cubalon Cultural Academy of Plainfield. And we're going to be bringing them on a monthly basis at the end of the last Monday of each month, so they can display the knowledge that they're learning, because we know that it is extremely important that they become knowledgeable, which many of us, it was not even 100 years ago that we were not even allowed to read. So we are living in real time, as a matter of fact. It's still with us. It's not that it ceased, or it ceased to a point, but not that it was totally wiped out of our system. Again, I'm not a psychologist, but common sense tell me, if you've been that battered for that many years and done so diabolically evil, then you will not necessarily be cured overnight. Yeah. I see her name is appearing. Do we have our...
She's trying to get in.
Oh, she's still trying to get in. I tell you, well, you're all going to just hold tight, because we have the youngsters coming in, but this is our first run. So we are not... the instructor is at my home while we are in the studio with with one of the students. He's going to moderate today, and on each occasion we'll have different moderators, and the other ones will be taping from home. And we are excited about it because they are excited about it. They have worked so hard to get this together, and I'm so proud of them. As I said before, they just came off a trip on Saturday. They went to the African Museum in Washington, that museum that your president is trying to eliminate, from our history. As a matter of fact, I think he's going to do it, same as what he did with the Black Lives Matter banner there in Washington. Just totally destroyed it. So they're not kidding, and I don't think we're kidding at this point. So we've known to survive. We've known to not only survive but strive in spite of what's been, put upon us. So I have no doubt in my mind that we will not get through this too. It's just not unnecessary, though. It's just unnecessary that human beings would have to go through this kind of craziness. There should be love, if you will, that would sort of, allow people to live in harmony. But that's just not going to be, I guess, to the extent that you just got to fight. And we are in a position now that we will. We probably are in a better position at this point than our ancestors were on a different level. See, they still had some of their understanding of who they were intact. They was not as far away from the homeland as we are now. And with what we have been thrown, what has been thrown at us, with the stripping and all that, over time it just wears more on you. Because when they were released, when they came out of so-called slavery, I don't even like to define it as such, genocide, they had their knowledge of who they were still intact, and they worked from that position. Oh, I do see we have our folks on now, and I'm going to be I'm so excited to see them. That's Ms. Rose Moore, We're going to bring on our students. Sister Rose, are we ready?
She got to unmute.
Got to unmute. Are you? Have you unmuted?
Yeah. Oh, she did. She did.
I'm not muted.
Yes, yes.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Excellent.
Okay, we are ready and we are excited.
Okay.
And the children are ready. Yep. We had some technical difficulties, but it seems that we are ready to go.
Okay.
So, hold on one second, and I'm going to introduce these fantastic kids that are going to perform for us their knowledge. Okay. Can I introduce these wonderful children?
Yes, you may. We're waiting for you.
Okay. Well, first of all, my name is Rose, and I am the new teacher. Well, let me say that again. I'm the new proud teacher of these awesome, awesome young Black people. And what I want to tell you is that we want to definitely, before we do anything, pay homage to Lula, which is Mrs. Ruby's sister, who was the co-creator of this school. And what's the name of our school, children? That's right. And she started this school so that they can learn about who they are as Black children. And we want to teach them all that they can learn about Black history. She worked tirelessly in her desire and determination to prepare them for what she felt was their destiny. And as Black people, we all have a destiny, and we need to start our children early. We can no longer rely on anyone to teach our children who they are and all that God created them to be. These youngsters are also students at Rose's Music Studio, not mine, but their auntie, Ruby's sister, where they are studying music and voice, and Chastity is in dance at the American Dance Studio of Edison, where she will be performing this Saturday. So remember that, everybody. She will be performing this Saturday in the park, and she has a recital coming up in May and July. We make sure we'll get the dates to you. Don't even worry about it. They'll be announced. But it will be worth tuning into to give these young people our support. The music group has a recital coming up. I think it's June 1st, but we'll get back to you. And Ruby will announce it next Monday. So if everybody's ready, I'm definitely ready to sit back and learn something. So we are going to start with Elijah. Who are we starting with?
With Elijah. He's the moderator this week.
He's our moderator.
Eli the ghost.
Step up to the mic.
You need medication.
Habari Gani. That's a Swahili greeting, which means, what is the news? And the news is, we are learning our true history. My name is Elijah Shivers. You see, Shivers is my surname, and I suspect it comes from the owner of a plantation where my ancestors over 400 years ago were, quote, slaves, enslaved by a system maintained for over 200 years. I am your moderator today, representing students from a school called Williams ACAP. Now, the acronym ACAP stands for Acubalon Culture Academy of Plainfield. Acubalon is the original name of Africa before the Romans named it Africa. In honor of my Aunt Lula, who transitioned this year, was the original instructor for our class, and we give great honor for her persistence in teaching us our history. We are blessed that we have our new instructor, Miss Rose Moore, to move us forward. We will be with you the last Monday of each month to share with you what we have learned from our history. I am so excited about learning our history and our connection with the motherland. My family recently performed an ancestral study, and I learned that the paternal ancestors, that's the male side of my family, are from Nigeria, who share ancestry with the Fulani people of that area. And my maternal ancestors, that's the female side of my family, are from Cameroon who share ancestry with the Massa people. I am so excited. Now you are going to hear from my classmates.
All right. Sister Rose, we're going to
Okay.
hear from the classmates now.
Okay. Habari Gani. My cousin has already told you what that greeting means. So I will greet you with the first greeting of Kwanzaa. Umoja, which means unity. And we need unity. My name is Halim and my surname is Moss. Like my cousin said, I am sure it must have come from some slave plantation. Of course, that's what Williams ACAP will be teaching us about our time here in the diaspora. That means outside of the Africa continent. And we will definitely learn about our native land. I have already learned that my ancestors on the paternal side, that means the male side of the family, are from Nigeria, sharing genetic ancestry with the Fulani people. And my ancestors on my paternal side, that's the female side of my family, are from Cameroon, sharing genetic ancestry with the Massa people. Oh, I'm so excited. We are going to be learning a lot more about our great history.
All right.
Fantastic. Next up,
Kushi Shakalia, self-determination. My name is Chastity, surname Shivers. Of course, my cousin and brother have told you about where our state names have came. And I'm so excited to learn about our ancestors from Nigeria and Cameroon.
All right.
very good. Who's next?
Ujama. That means collective work and responsibility. Now that's a village concept we've got to review. My name is Elwa. My surname is Moss. Another name from the plantation. That's why we're going to educate ourselves to the history of our enslavement while learning about the glorious past from whence we came from. I am so excited. Also, to learn of my connection to the Massa people of Cameroon and the Fulani people of Nigeria.
Very good. I've learned so much already.
Oh,
Who's
yeah.
next?
Who's next?
Kuamba, creativity. My name is Leilani. My family and friends call me Munchie, and my surname is Middleton, another name from the plantation. That's why I'm so excited to learn about my true African history. I am learning so much about our creativity. Do you know we created math, writing, geometry, and a lot more?
Very good. Who's next?
Me. Ujama, cooperative economics. We definitely have to rebuild an economic base that was established even after enslavement. My name is Chloe, surname Shivers. You've been told how that name assignment came about. That's why I'm so excited to learn of the history of my people before the Great Steal. I'm also excited to learn of my ancestors, the Fulani people of Nigeria and Massa people of Cameroon.
And last of all, but not least of all, is Nana. Take it away.
Mia, purpose. And these times we got to know our purpose, to move forward in honor of our ancestors. My name is Sanai. My family and friends call me Nai Nai. And of course, my surname is Johnson. Well, we know by now where that came from. That's why I'm so excited to learn about my ancestors from Cameroon and Nigeria.
Very good. You ladies and gentlemen have taught me something today. Aren't they fantastic?
Oh, they are fantastic.
And from wherever you are, give these young people a hand of applause because this is just the beginning. They are going to teach you who you are. And we want to thank the Unapologetic Amateur podcast for having us on and showcasing us. And again, this is just the beginning. Thank you very much for all of your support. Miss Ruby?
Oh yes, great, 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 great. We just gave you a applause there. I don't know if you heard it, but y'all was excellent. You can get better, and you will get better.
Yes, they
But
will.
it's the meantime, and you'll make sure that you're okay. Well, see the different ones. Okay, so we appreciate you very much. Now, next week, next month, we got to get prepared because this is a monthly kind of occurrence where you all will come on and let the people know what you're learning and how you're learning and how excited you are about learning about yourself. Now, I don't know if each one of you or any one of you want to talk about Saturday. Just give us a little hint of what happened Saturday. What did you do? Where did you go? Who wants to tell me about the trip to Washington?
Um, I'll do it.
Washington. Yeah.
I'll do it. We went to Washington, D.C., and we went to the Museum of Black History,
Okay.
and we learned stuff about our ancestors and how they weren't treated fairly than other colored people.
Chloe, is there something that you saw specifically?
What
Got a
did you
question
see?
I can't
from the
say here,
moderator.
but
Did you
here
hear
I
him?
can't say it. But the other thing I saw was we got treated poorly, and they put toys of us eating fried chicken, watermelon, and Kool-Aid, which is a stereotype
Okay. Definitely.
that they shouldn't have put.
Yes. Yeah. Very good. Very.
The stereotype about black people that other people think
Right.
is true.
Yes. Yes. So that's excellent.
That's why we need to
Okay.
learn our history.
Can I go next?
Chastity, and then you're the gentleman.
Sure. When we went to the museum, I learned about Emmett Till and how he supposedly whistled at a white woman when he didn't,
Right.
and he got killed.
Yes.
And then years later, they found out that the white woman was lying, and he never whistled at her.
Yeah, she says I know.
And it was too late because
Yeah, because
they had killed him.
yeah, you
But
can't
that
bring
was just
someone
an
back to life.
excuse to kill him anyway. That
Yeah.
is why we owe it to ourselves and our ancestors for the price that they had to pay for us to be all that we could be and learn as much as we can learn about ourselves, who we are, our contributions to this world, and pass it on to the next generation.
Yeah.
Lastly, you're going to hear from our man,
Ooh.
Moss. Make room for it, ladies. Make room for it.
Ooh.
What did you see?
Um,
What did
When I
you
went to
learn?
the African Museum, I see how it was something called the Red Line, and it was for white people, and they had big houses and things and big rooms in the houses, while black people had like small apartments with one bedroom and one bed and one bathroom. And I learned what inside of a jail cell looks like, and how they put us in jail for nothing.
For no reason, right?
For no reason.
And these things have to change. So it is up to this generation to teach next generation so that we can make a change, because together we can make a change.
So let me ask
There's
you a question.
another young lady that has
Yeah.
something to say.
Keep it in a cup.
There should be another one I haven't heard from. Nana, did I hear from you?
Nene,
Alwa,
she got
Harlem, I didn't hear from
Nana.
you.
Nana, are you going? You don't have anything to say? She doesn't have anything to say. How about you, Munchie?
No.
No.
They didn't go there.
Oh, they didn't go on the trip.
Harlem,
Okay. So there you have it. We're already learning it, and I'm going to try to sponsor a trip to the Black History and Museum in Washington before Trump takes out
Oh, he's
our
threatening it already.
contribution
He
to
said
the
he's
world.
going to do it.
Yeah,
And I
and
Yeah.
believe
my
he's going.
dad told me there was
Don't do that. Let her talk. You all behave now, 'cause
my
we see you.
dad
We see
told me
everything you're doing.
You're on camera.
there was a wax museum where it was even harder on our part from the other uncolored people.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's
What?
just
How
enough.
did you all?
And
How
we
did?
learned how
Go on.
and we learned how and we learned how they transferred us from Africa to America in a boat, and half of
Where in
us
the boat? Where were you in the boat?
on the bottom of the boat,
On the bottom of the boat.
and half of us didn't even
Make it.
survive. We
That's
didn't
right.
make it.
That's
Stutter
right.
was crazy.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That was.
we have shed our blood. We have had
Every,
to endure a lot of atrocities. And we have to remember that because we carry this in our DNA. But that's for another program.
So how did you feel personally when you saw that? What kind of reaction did you have? I know it was painful to have seen that. Is this the first time you've even seen something like this? I know you've seen movies and that kind of stuff.
Um, it was it was um I don't know. It was basic. It was sad, yeah. How
Yeah.
what they did to us, and but I don't know what.
they shouldn't have done it. It
Yeah,
was bad.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm so glad you'll seem to have taken in a lot, and that's what we expect you to do. That could have reversed the damage, and one of the ways to do that is to learn. As one of the speakers that I had on earlier said, that we knew our history and we even knew the depth of what we are as human beings, we would not
Absolutely.
always feel as badly about ourselves or other folks. We point sometimes fingers at other people because they're not making they're not achieving at the level we see other people. And I use that term a lot on my podcast about we sometimes don't think beyond our circumstances. And for you young folks, the circumstances mean just what you saw. We're like the least of everything. We don't have the least amount of money. We have the least amount of good houses. We have the least, and you wonder sometimes, well, wonder why that is, If you see your
Right.
other friends, white or whatever, and they're doing a little better, you wonder why is that? Well, that's because of what you're learning now, how they have stripped us,
Right.
how they have taken away,
Exactly.
how they have denied us just a simple things that they would normally allow a human being. So it's so good
Right.
you all are absorbing all that and you're taking it in, and you can share it with other folks who may not have the privilege and the opportunity to be so blessed to go and visit these places or be on TV or So it's an excellent opportunity to just rise above your circumstance. That means rising above what they have
Exactly.
put there.
Exactly. That is so good and that is so true.
Yeah.
And before we sign off, we just want that to know that our mission statement is to learn as much as we can, like we said, and to share it because regardless of the powers that be and what they try to deny and block us from, we are resilient.
Yes,
And
we are.
because we are resilient, our prodigy is resilient. And
Yeah.
you're looking at just a very small fraction of them. But these young people right here can take the knowledge, pass it on, and change the world.
Excuse me, what did you mean by prodigy?
Prodigy.
It's like a game in my school.
No, prodigy means you are our offspring. That's another word. You are our offspring. And so you inherit not only what we look like you may have the eyes of your parents, another one may have the skin complexion of the other parent. It does. Those attributes are good. They are identifiers, but they don't make you who you are. You have the potential and the power on the inside of a God, but you don't
Exactly.
know it. But
Okay.
now that's what we're going to teach everybody.
Oh yeah, we're gonna teach
So
that.
thank you again, Ruby, for the
Well, just
opportunity.
stay
And
put
like I
because we
said,
do
this
have.
is
We
just the
just stay
beginning.
put, Sister Rose. We do have our moderator here. We want to hear from him and find out what he learned on the trip. Cause he went on the trip also. Mhm.
Yeah, on a trip,
You'll get
Yes,
closer to
Elijah, what
him.
did you learn?
on the trip, I most of the stuff there I already knew because of nanny, like my parents. But I got to see, like we got to walk through a train compartment, and you could see how the whites had two bathrooms and two storages, whilst in the big bathrooms, and then the colored people they had smaller bathrooms and no storage compartments.
Hmm. So those are just lessons that you probably never thought uh, that it was
Right.
going on in this country. But those are the things that before your time. But it is available to you to know from history what you're learning now. You may not have been part of it, but vicariously you will know that these things happened to your ancestors. That's why you can appreciate and kind of you have total respect and the determination not to let your ancestors down because they went through so much to get us to even to the position we are in now you know. And so when we come up with obstacles or things that will block us from knowing our history and knowing who we are, then obviously uh, not going to let that happen. For the ones of us who are determined to keep our history alive, to keep our ancestors, what they went through and how hard they fought just to keep us alive because times are getting to be kind of hard right along now. But back in the days of our ancestors, there was the lynching, the rapes, the all kinds of crazy things that you wouldn't even dream of now. So they endured it. They fought. They were gallantly fighting all the time. It just that there was obstacles. What's happening?
Somebody's phone going off.
It, it was the phone. The phone.
Okay. Okay, so now we are going to be do something with the phone. And anyway, we're going to
Yeah.
continue this. As I said before, I got two parts going on now with the podcast. We're going to have the what I call the information section, where we're going to have folks come on. I hope everyone enjoy. I hope you all enjoyed what you saw. The three pieces that I brought to you. That was educational to me, and I just thought that it would be something for you all. Uh, I haven't seen my folks here yet, Norm, but I just appreciate all of you who tuned in because I told you, I said, we're going to have a great show for you, so I know that you did. Rashida Johnson, okay, Sheila, okay, Dana Robinson. I'm so proud of these that's what someone is saying. Sharing the knowledge is very important. George Jackson from California said. Sheila said, keep up the great work. Janice Heiser, okay, from North Carolina and Ann Chester from Florida, Janice Heiser, Sheila Bird, Sharon. I'm in the building. Joy Jackson again, Sheila Bird, uh, Robert Cabbage Stock. Okay, thumbs up, he says. Dina Robson, keep up the great work, young people. See, people are really appreciating that you're all getting it together. Okay, Stephanie, Stephen Boy, May May. Okay, love May May. Felicia Jackson, nice. Good, Felicia. Good seeing you. Keep in touch. Okay, just ran it. Terry Benjamin from podcast to podcast, right?
Bye,
George Jackson. Okay, Stephanie again. Dina, this is awesome. Ruby Sharp okay. It just kind of ran past me, you all now. Skia, Symphony. We are so appreciative of the ones of you who tuned in because this is so important for our young people to know that they are going to be what I want to say a quote our saviors because they are getting it together and they're going to know what they know and no one is going to be able to diminish their enthusiasm about who they are. See, one of the things that had happened to us, you young folks have to know, we were not allowed. There had not been 100 years ago that we were not even allowed to read or write. So you are in a position now where we never, we weren't at some time in the past. So it's going to be your responsibility to continue to try to study as hard as you can, as much as you can, about who you are and what happened to your people that would make them least in whatever you see. If you see them living less than other folks, you say, well, I wonder why. Because I know the question would come up. I mean, naturally so. If you see yourself in a ghetto or a place that, is less than what you would see some of your friends living in, you're going to wonder, well, what happened? Well, now you get an idea, get an understanding of some of the things that went on through our sojourn here in this country when they stole us from our homeland and brought us across on what we knew as the coming out of the door, what they classified as the door of no return. You recall I had your cousin on last week who was in Africa, Ghana. He was in Africa and he was at the door of no return, where they declared that we would not go back to our homeland in Africa, but we are going back now. And one of these days, one of these good old days, we may have you all take a trip to Africa. Would you like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be real good. That would be real good. And for those of you who out there, my villagers, just keep watching us. Keep, you know, if you want to, what you call that when you, I want you
Comment.
to comment. They always comment. Like, view, and what is the other one? Share. Yeah. Always do that, so we're going to have, you can see how important, how necessary, not only for our children, but this could be very helpful for any child that may not have the opportunity to have a homeschooling. And I will suggest to all our black parents out there, it doesn't have to be a lot. It's 9 of us, right? We started the homeschooling a couple of years ago before Meme went to her ancestor, went on to heaven, and became an ancestor. But what we are encouraging all black folk to do is to get the history somehow, some way to your people, and particularly the youth, the young people, because they will absorb it, and they will soak it up, and they will learn it, and they will be able to represent when they get confront someone like that Governor DeSantis down in Florida, who made the statement that when we came over, when they stole us and brought us over, that they taught us how to do things, the skills that we have. We had skills long before they even dreamed of skills. We built the pyramids. We did the sciences. We did mathematics. We did all the things, languages and all that, before we were even stolen and brought over here. So you're learning that. It's encouraging. It's exhilarating for me because I just love to hear you, talk about what you've learned. And I hope that it bodes well with all the ones who listen. And I know it does with them, but then just carry the message, the information on. And I'm so appreciative to have my host here today, Elijah. Elijah, what grade are you?
9th.
What school are you attending?
Barack
Get
Obama.
get closer to them.
Barack Obama High School.
Yes, yeah. And so we're excited about that. He just turned 15 not too long ago. So, hey, he's quite a young man, and we're very proud of him, and we're very proud of all of you, And, of course, one thing when I get home, we will have some pointers about how you do not act on the show, on the broadcast. But that's another story. That's another learning cycle. Okay? I thank all you all so much. I thank you guys so much. You all have done well. You were superb. You were perfect. And I like the idea that you've gotten all this information like in a short period of time. You was in Washington on Saturday. Now you're here, and that just does my heart well. So Queen Rose Moore, I appreciate you. You was excellent.
Yes, I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of them. They did good. Let's get themselves a hand. Get yourself a hand.
I look forward to that one.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Look forward to next month. Next month, last Monday of the month, and you guys out there, my villagers, please put it on your calendar and then tell everybody else about our kids, what they're doing and how they are doing it. They are doing it. Good night, goodbye, and God bless you.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Corn salads.
How we get out of here?
It's just
Okay.
No, it's supposed to.
the guy comes and like it's that no, once at 5 o'clock. I used to be on call. At 5
The phone
o'clock.
died. I think so.
No, the phone didn't die. I just wanted to tell you something. I didn't know how to tell you. But let me just tell you
We can
something.
still hear y'all.
Like this right here, if the phone rings, you
I told you we're still on.
yeah, they can.